There you go. What's going on, people? We got Fabio on here now. I see him. If you can, if you're on the I guess video, go ahead and type. You can type your questions in on the chat area. How you doing, today, Fabio?
Hey, how's it going, boss?
Pretty good, pretty good. You can hear me clear. Everything's cool.
Oh yeah, how's everything on your end?
It's pretty good, man. Can't complain. I'm just having a slow day, so I need this little interview here to kind of perk me up a bit. So we're gonna get right into it. I don't have really any questions in general. I've been answering for the most part all my email questions. So if you had any, we can start there. If not, I know some questions that I get asked on a regular basis that we can go off as well. So did you have
Yeah,
any?
we can kick it off however you want to. I know I get tons of questions too asked on a regular basis, and so however you want to start it, it's fine.
Okay. So I know the number one question is how do you bid on accounts? So as if people see my video about how to bid, it's basically I just look at an account and I calculate how long I think it'll clean, and then I take my hourly rate and I kind of multiply that times that and come up with it. So for example, if I think as an hour clean and I'm charging $30 an hour, and I'll say, okay, well, if it's gonna take me an hour to clean 5 days a week, then you take that 30, multiply that times 5 days a week because it's only for 1 hour. Then you add in your cost for supplies, and if you want to throw in gas, you can add in that, and pretty much go from there. So, do you have an actual formula that you like to follow, or do you kind of go the same route that I go?
I mix it up a bit. I kind of do what you do and some. It just depends on the account. Once you start getting accounts, you can kind of walk into a building and pretty much estimate within your head like about how much you would charge. But for the newbie that's just starting out, you probably want to have some type of formula. You can do it the traditional way by starting with the square feet, the measurements. I know I have the little wheel,
Right. Yeah.
the roller wheel. You can start that. I would say start on do it about the outside of the building. Check the length and the width, and kind of go off of that. Um, but I have an actual breakdown sheet.
Okay.
Where, if it's 1,000 square feet to 2,000, I charge this. 2,000 to 4,000, I charge that. I kind of have a breakdown. Some accounts I do hourly, some I just do per cleaning.
Right.
It just depend on the size of the facility, and so that's kind of how I mix it up.
How did you learn how to bid? Do you even refer to the ISSA website at all? Because I know I don't.
No, actually, when I first got started in a commercial cleaning, I ordered a system
Okay.
called Your Clean Future by Todd Nichols, and he
Okay.
had a breakdown, like what I was telling you about just a second ago, the formula breakdown from 1,000 to 2,000, that type of thing, and I kind of went off of that.
Gotcha.
And so basically, how it will work is I will go in, do my walkthrough, ask them the square footage, go back to the home office, take a look at what I ordered within the system, the course, and if they said it was 1,200 square foot or feet, then I would kind of look at my sheet and see what the base rate was for that size of account, and then I would go ahead and charge accordingly. Now, the thing where I kind of got confused and where I lost a lot of money in the beginning is because I just wanted to get the accounts. So instead of charging per hour, I was charging by per cleaning,
Uh-huh.
and you lose a lot of money then because you can do a 2 hour account, whereas you could charge maybe $35 hypothetically.
Right.
Charge $50.
Right.
Well, I would like lose $10. You see what I'm saying? Opposed if I charged it by the hour.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And what else was I going to say? I'm trying to think. I just lost my thought that fast. But that's what I was going to say. So with the franchise, they also do it the same way that you were saying. They use the wheel and they kind of measure it like that. But since I don't know the formula, that's why I just kind of just go off top. I say, all right, well, based on this, it probably take me X amount of time to clean this room, X amount of time to clean that room, and I add it all up, and then I multiply it times whatever I feel like the going rate would be. But yeah, for the most part, I think most, especially in the commercial side, most people use a formula um, to calculate how much they're going to charge when they're bidding. But do you have like that form that you're referring to? Do you sell it to viewers, or do you provide it if they do some type of subscriber? Do you offer that to anybody?
Yeah, I've emailed it out to many of my subscribers and people on YouTube, uh, so they can have a starting point. Because a lot of times, they just starting out, and a lot of times you can find it online. You just
Right.
Google like estimate breakdown,
Hmm.
and what will happen is a lot of different variations of the same thing that I have come up. It just varied area by area. So,
Right.
as you know, I operate in a lot of different cities,
Right.
towns, so it would vary, the going rate.
Okay.
So,
And
um,
actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I was going to move to. And by the way, before I change the subject, you guys, if you want to hear more about my method on how to bid on accounts, you could just look at searching YouTube how to bid on accounts, AJ Simmons, or type in cleaning franchise consultant is on my other channel, cleaning franchise consultant, where I actually did a video on how I bid. And then also email Fabio if you want to get access to that form or more information about the way that he bid. So, but what I was trying to move on to was, so you do business in different areas and localities and states and everything. And so some people might want to know, especially me, because I'm growing to the point where I'm trying to separate myself from the business and let the employees run it. And we want to know, how do you get yourself on autopilot like that? Like, how can you be in Detroit while your business runs fluidly in Virginia? Because we know in this line of business, you can never be perfect, and the customers are always going to have a complaint. So how do you get on autopilot like that for your business to run without you being there?
well, good question. That's a question that I get asked often. Actually, let's take VA. Let's take Portsmouth, which is a pretty relatively small area opposed to some of the other areas I lived in.
Right.
Basically, what I did was, I did my little research first on the town. So I started with, just the mechanics of the demographics, what type of people there, what type of area it is, and I just kind of worked my way, starting with zip code. So
Right.
I stayed downtown off the waterfront in VA. So I kind of started downtown and worked my way through the rest of the city. Um, but what happens is all of my people that I hire, most of the time I get them from Craigslist.
Hmm.
I interview them, I do a background or have them do a background check, police clearance, that type of thing. And if I feel comfortable with them, I go ahead and get them started.
Right.
Now, usually what happens if I know I'm going to leave a city, like, if I'm going to leave VA and I'm going back to Georgia, then what I would do is take someone that I hired already and turn them into like a field supervisor.
Right.
So I think I would pay them extra money just to oversee everything that's happening in that particular city. And then at the end of the day, end of the week, or end of the month, just give me a short report card. Let me know what's going on with each account. And I don't solely depend upon that person to give me an accurate account of what's going on in VA. I
Right.
follow it up by calling the actual client themselves to see if they have any problems, if there's anything that we could improve at. I try not to do that a lot because what happened is a lot of times they'll just start making up shit,
Right.
like stuff, everything be going fine. And then I'll say, oh yeah, and they'll make up something.
Right.
So I try not to do that a lot, but I do want to stay on top of everything because just because the client didn't call you, don't mean nothing is going on there. They just haven't called you or alerted you yet that there is a problem. So,
Exactly. It's funny you say that too, because I just did a walkthrough inspection with all my accounts yesterday, and me and my wife were talking. We were saying how I noticed that I need to keep that at a minimum when I do that, because even if nothing's wrong, some clients just will make up anything to say because they see that they got you there. So, like, well, actually, you think you can do this? You know what I mean? So when really it was nothing to begin with. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
yeah.
But
Yep, that's what I get a lot. So a lot of times, usually the person that I may like a field supervisor or that I made a supervisor, usually they're pretty accurate with everything because I train them personally.
Right.
So I'm very, very hands-on. So whether it's in Georgia or whether it's in Michigan or whether it's in Virginia, wherever the count is, I'm very hands-on, and I like to stay connected with my employees
Right.
or the person that I designate to be the overseer of everything in any given
Right.
area. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that you can say that there's like a blanket rate across the board now that you've been in different territories or whatever? Would you be able to say that there's like a range that you can charge as a going rate? Because I know here where I am, I feel like for one, you can definitely charge higher in residential than you can in commercial. And also the larger the account, the lower the rate usually is, just simply because it's going to be such a large lump sum that you're going to get paid anyway. So do you think there's like a range that you could say that it is across the board, or it really just depends on where you are?
Well, I would say there is a range. I think I do mostly commercial.
Hmm.
I have a few residential, but I'm not real big on residential because they're very nitpicky type. You
Right.
know, you didn't turn the lamp around this way. You didn't put it back the way so they very, very nitpicking opposed to a lot of commercial accounts that I have. So I
Right.
can't speak a lot about the residential side. I do have a few, but I can't speak a lot about that. As far as the commercial side, um, that rate would depend upon like how you're going to charge this. You're going to do it per cleaning, which is a factor, or are you going to do it hourly? And
Right.
it also depends on, I would say, the more days they give you to clean the building,
Hmm.
the lesser you can charge on your rate.
Right.
The less days that they give you, the more you charge. So for an example, if
Exactly.
you got a dentist office, it's a one time a week cleaning.
Right.
Uh, it takes you approximately maybe 2.5 hours. You can either charge that by just a flat rate or you can charge that by the hour. Me,
Exactly.
it just depends on how I want to do it because see, I do both net 30, which means
Right.
every 30 days, and I also do a net 15.
Okay.
So I always have income coming in every 2 weeks and every month.
Right.
It just depends on how I want to charge any given account.
Okay. And it's funny you brought up net 30 too. I was going to ask you about that because I know we do net 30 with the franchise. But so when do you send out your bill? Like on the first or the 15th of every month for the net 30?
The first, I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, which days when do you send out your bill for the net 30? Like, do you clean the whole month of September and then send out the bill on September 31st for it to be due on October 31st?
Uh, Normally I send out all of my mailings. Most of the time it's email. So a lot of times it's not even mail. But some people prefer mail. Usually I'll email out all of the invoices probably like on the 28th of every
Right.
month.
That's right, but you don't use QuickBooks, do you? You actually have somebody hired that does your invoicing. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
I oversee the invoices because I want
Okay.
to make sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't necessarily, put them together myself, but I oversee them before they actually go out. All of them.
Gotcha.
Everything is computer generated. It's emailed to me. So if I got ABC company and we charge them 250 a month, and then I have XYZ and we charge them 500 a month, I just want to make sure all the numbers is right before they
Right.
go out.
Okay,
Um,
and that's the beauty too for those who are still trying to figure out whether franchise or not the franchise. That's just one more beauty of not franchising. Is like he was saying, he doesn't have to wait until that net 30 payment comes in once a month. He can decide how and when he wants to get paid. You know what I mean? That's why I started doing the house accounts was because I can tell him to pay me before the cleaning. I can tell him to pay me right after. I can pay 15 days, like he said. Is it whenever you want? Usually I do as long as you pay me before the next service. If you don't pay, I won't show. But so it's really it creates another way to ensure that you're going to get paid without having to wait so long and have such a long drag time in your payment. So, but did you have any questions that you usually come across from subscribers that you want to kind of bring to the table?
No, I don't get asked a lot of billing questions. A lot of times they see my videos and they answer. Sometimes it's repetitive because I do the
Right.
same video on the same topic, 2 or 3 times, whatever, in a different way. But the most recent question I got was dressing. How should you dress when you go and do the walkthrough?
Yeah.
Because some people think they need their Sunday best suit on.
Right.
Some people think, jeans and a t-shirt is okay. So I got asked that the other day. I did a video about it, and I can address it here.
Okay.
For the guy, I said on my video that I think you probably should just wear maybe some Dockers, some type of khaki type pants, or a nice button-up shirt with a tie, or
Right.
a polo shirt. If you're not going to do a button-up shirt, you do a nice little polo shirt with maybe some casual type of shoes, comfortable shoes, since you're going to be walking through. And there's been instincts where, and I'm gonna get back on the dress, but there's been instincts where I knew what I would charge for that particular account,
Right.
and the person wanted me to start right then and there.
That's how they do.
Right then and there. So you guys have to look out for stuff like that. That's why I say comfortable shoes. I usually wear like Dockers or some type of khaki pants,
Right.
polo shirt with my logo on it. I also have Rockports, which is like a comfortable walking shoe,
Right.
and that's usually what I wear. So I'll do that whether I'm cleaning, if I got to clean, which is very rare, or I'll do that if I'm doing the walkthrough.
Right. Do you
So,
think? Go ahead.
now, for women, I get more questions from women than I do men. So for women, listen to me now. Women, you don't have to be over eccentric with your stuff. You can be just like us. You can have a nice little polo shirt on, or you can have a nice little blouse button up type of thing. Now the cleavage, you don't have to be super sexy, and you don't have to have your Beyonce on or your Nicki Minaj. You just keep it basic. Nice little, like women's slacks, black slack pants or what have you, and a nice little blouse. You don't need your stilettos, your pumps, your red bottoms. All that. Just get some flat shoes, some nice comfortable shoes, because you don't know, those people might actually say, "Hey, can you start now?"
Right.
And if you tell them no, they're gonna say, "Okay, well, we'll think about you. Do you have a business card?" And then you'll never hear back from them.
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
if you don't know what to charge, then stick to your script. Don't say yes and you say I charge $50 and you really maybe undercharged, or in their mind overcharged them for something. If you really need to go back to the drawing table, let them know you need to go back to the office. You need to take a look at everything, and you'll get the estimate out to them as quickly as possible.
Right.
Just let them know you're an honest person, and that's what you need to do to give them an honest, fair price.
Exactly right. And I know that somebody asked me before, well, what can I expect at the walkthrough? What questions should I ask? And really, I know that the main basic thing that you definitely want to know is, where's your water source? That's something that people forget to ask. So where's your water source? Where is the dumpster located? Ask them what areas do they like to focus on. A lot of people want you to focus on their restrooms and the kitchen. So, and that's residential and commercial when it comes to that. So, figure out what they're looking for. Ask them what the last company did wrong. Don't be afraid to ask that. I even had somebody tell me that they asked what the last company charged, which I never do. But hey, you might can get away with it. So ask whatever you think you can get away with.
I actually, do the psychology thing. I go with the mindset, and if they seem kind of upbeat,
Right.
then I feel comfortable with asking what the last company charged.
Yeah.
If they seem like bossy, because you got some people you can tell, oh, this person is bossy.
Right.
Then
You good?
had a phone call. If you see somebody that's kind of bossy, what would happen is I would just kind of play it by ear,
because you don't want to mess up the deal, but you just want to kind of read them to kind of get a feel for if you should ask them what the last company
Right.
what last company charged or what have you. So that's one thing. Another quick thing while it's on my mind is you want to get a contact number, a separate contact number outside of the business number in case of like roof leaks. Sometimes there's many times where things has happened, floods. I know in Michigan and VA too, they get hit hard with snow. So a lot of times you get snowed in, and there's many times I done got to a site, snow is against the door. I didn't come with any shovels or anything because that's not what we handle, and I can't get in the building.
Right.
I have the key, but I can't get in because it's ice, it's snow. So if they have a contractor that's supposed to do that, that person isn't on their job, and I can't get in the building. Now, check this out. If I leave, and sometimes they do come after hours and double check to see what the cleaner has done, and they notice I haven't been there, then that's a complaint, right? But if I had a contact number, I can call and say, hey, this is Fabio, I'm at the facility. Do you guys have a contractor? There's snow up to the doorknob here, and I can't get into the facility. You know, or anything like that. You want to have a separate contact number, maybe that person's cell phone number, this person's home number. You just need a separate contact number outside of the business number so you can contact it for emergency cases.
Absolutely. That's definitely, because we have like a little form that we have when we go through do the walkthrough, and that's definitely up there, emergency contact number. So you definitely want to have that. And also with that emergency contact number, don't treat this as a job. It's not a job. So
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you low. You're very low.
Okay, let me tweak my volume then. How about now? Can you hear me better now?
No.
Oh, man. Oh, you know why? Okay, I'm muted. That's why. Am I? No, still not. This video is unavailable for mobile use. Okay, can you hear me? Is it any better?
About the same.
I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Have I been like this throughout the whole video?
No, it just happened.
Okay. Well, what I was getting at was you don't want to call in just because you have that phone number for emergency contact. There's no such thing as calling in when you're the owner of a business, you know. So make sure that you don't try to abuse that situation, because I know people in this business where they'll sit there and actually call in and say, I can't make it in today, I'm sick, as if they have a job. You know what I mean? So you only want to call in emergencies. Like the snow situation is definitely an emergency, but as far as just calling in because you don't feel good that day, that's something completely different. You got to find a way to get somebody out there to do what you're supposed to do. Are you able to hear me better now?
Nope, it's still low. I can hear you. It's just very, very low.
Okay, well, what I might do is close it out right here and go back and listen to it. I'll upload what we have, and then maybe if we can pick up, maybe if I can fix it. I don't know exactly what the world happened, but maybe if you want to fix it and pick up where we left off, or we can continue it.
Yeah, if you want, I guess you could save this portion of it and make it like a part 1, part 2.
Okay, we'll do that. And you know we're live right now, so what we got is up already. So.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I'll call you back once I get everything straight.
Okay.